Welcome to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram's Immigration Podcast. Today we are excited to present part 3 of our 4-part series on the O-1B visa. The O-1B visa is for senior professionals who work in the entertainment industry. So let's dive in. Before we get started, we'd like to thank attorney Chris M. Ingram and his team who have worked very hard in researching and preparing the material for this podcast. So let's get started. And welcome back to the deep dive. So glad you could join us again as we continue exploring extraordinary ability. Now, for anyone just jumping in, or if you maybe need a quick reminder, in parts 1 and 2, we really set the stage for the O-1B visa, covered the basics, the amazing benefits, and then we dove into the first 4 ways you qualify. Things like lead roles, getting great reviews, having those really critical roles in top organizations, and commercial success. Today we're pushing on, going to finish up the qualification categories.
That's exactly right. We've established the O-1B is for people really at the top of their game in arts and entertainment, truly extraordinary folks. And what's interesting now is how we build on that. So our goal today is to wrap up the last 2 categories, finish the set, so to speak. And these last 2, as our legal team often points out in their research, they offer a different angle. One is more about, let's say, outside proof, peer validation. And the other, well, that one's directly tied to market demand, your value, basically. Then, and this is the really practical part, we're going to look at some case studies, real world examples that show how all this legal stuff actually comes together, how it builds that crucial story of exceptional talent.
That sounds like a great plan for today. So let's jump right into number 5, category 5. This one essentially is about getting praise from the right people, isn't it? The authorities in your field. The official description is quite a mouthful. Evidence that you have received significant recognition for achievements from organizations, critics, government agencies, or other recognized experts, and so on. But, put simply, it's proof that important people recognize your achievements, right?
Precisely. Yeah, you nailed it. This one's all about proving what we sometimes call peer validation, or, validation from recognized authorities. It's not just about doing fantastic work. That work actually needs to be seen, acknowledged, celebrated by people qualified to judge excellence in your specific area. Your art, your entertainment field, whatever it is. Think of it like this. If the big names, the critics, the prestigious groups, the institutions, if they're publicly saying, wow, this person's work is outstanding, that's incredibly strong evidence. Our legal team's research really hammers this home. It's a core concept. Now, for someone who's been around a while, a seasoned pro, this recognition might look like glowing endorsements from members of, say, AMPS, the Oscars people, or maybe from really influential critics. Chris Ingram's research often brings up someone like Roger Ebert. His opinion carried enormous weight in film. It could also be awards from respected government bodies or really selective private groups that vet talent very carefully. But what about recent grads or people earlier in their careers? Well, the form might be different, but the purpose is exactly the same. We're talking maybe strong recommendations from professors at top schools, detailed ones, or maybe notes from festival jurors if your film or art was shown somewhere significant. Our researchers have a great example. Imagine getting an endorsement from a Grammy-winning musician, if you're a music grad, someone super accomplished vouching for you. That's huge. Scholarship painters, too. Getting selected by them means they saw serious talent and potential. That's valuable recognition. But the key thing, always, 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 is the credentials of who's giving the praise. Their background, their standing, their own achievements. That biography matters a lot. The bigger their reputation, the stronger your evidence.
That makes total sense. So we're talking letters, testimonials, maybe quotes from reviews, things like that. Okay, here's where it gets interesting, though. How do you actually get this evidence? And maybe more importantly, what should these letters or testimonials say? Because I imagine they're great, doesn't really cut it, does it? Needs to be specific, impactful.
You've hit on a really crucial point there. And this is something people often miss. Our team usually advises getting maybe 5 to 10 strong letters, quality over quantity, definitely. But, a good number shows broad recognition. And you're right, generic stuff is useless. A form letter, forget it. These letters have to be specific. They need to detail why you're exceptional. Here's maybe a little nugget of advice. Don't just ask for a recommendation letter. Ask for a story. The best letters, the ones that really land, they tell a little story. They show a specific moment where your talent shone through. They make the reviewer feel your impact. So instead of just, their lighting was good, maybe something like, ooh, their innovative lighting for City of Echoes. It didn't just light the stage, it completely transformed the feel of the show, created this dreamlike world. I've been in theater 20 years, never seen LEDs used quite like that with such artistry. See the difference? Or for a recent grad, maybe a professor writing about their film at a festival. Not just it's screened, but maybe. When her short Whispers of the Alley premiered at Sundance, its bold, nonlinear structure just grabbed everyone. Jurors were talking about how she made the city itself a character. That's deep thinking for a student film. Chris Ingram's research really stresses this. Narrate the unique contributions. Connect it to specific achievements. Also, try to get independent sources if you can, to avoid looking biased. Letters from people you work with are good, sure, but endorsements from, say, a critic who reviewed you or a museum curator who showed your work someone with no direct stake in you getting the visa, that's really persuasive. For pros, think long-term mentors, curators. For grads, professors, internship supervisors who saw your work firsthand. In TV and film, a producer explaining why you were vital is gold. The tricky part, getting people to write those really custom letters, sometimes you need to guide them a bit. We often suggest giving recommenders some bullet points, remind them of specific projects, unique things you did. Remember that scene where we... Ultimately, this category adds that human element. It gives depth beyond just credits, shows there's a consensus. You've got serious talent. And it really boosts the case when combined with other wins, like maybe getting great reviews for a hit show you directed. As Chris Ingram puts it in the research, recognition from esteemed organizations and critics serves as a powerful endorsement, affirming the depth and originality of your contributions. It really validates your work.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking about this category, it's definitely not just about collecting some nice quotes. It's much deeper than that. It's about proving your talent isn't just something you think you have or your friends say you have. It's validated externally by the people who really know excellence in your field, like getting the official seal of approval.
Exactly. It's objective recognition from the standard setters. Proof that your work has made a real impact and been judged as extraordinary by those who matter.
Right. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Category 6. This one feels, well, pretty direct. It gets right to market value. It's titled, Evidence that you have commanded or will command a high salary or other substantial remuneration for services in relation to others in the field. So this isn't just about earning a decent living. It's about being paid exceptionally well compared to your peers, right? For your specific job and experience. What's the real story behind this category? How does it prove extraordinary ability?
Well, this category offers a very tangible way to measure extraordinary ability. It's quantitative. The core idea, as our legal team explains it, is that getting paid a lot shows your value. It reflects strong market demand for your unique talents. It's proof that you're not just good, you're in demand. So much so that the market pays you significantly more than others doing similar work. It's a direct reflection of how valuable you're perceived to be. Now, for established professionals, our legal team's research shows this could be contracts showing salaries way above the industry average, like maybe a film role paying $200,000 plus, where you can show that's significantly higher than the typical SAG-AFTRA rate for a similar part. Or it could be significant royalties, residuals from hit projects. That shows your work has lasting commercial impact. We've also seen cases built on showing fees that have gone up over time, clear evidence of rising demand. Or for artists, maybe high commissions from gallery sales. Proof people will pay top dollar for your art. And for emerging talents or recent grads, how does it work for them? It's approached a bit differently, but it's still about showing exceptional value. Should be winning competitive grants or prestigious fellowships. Those often come with stipends well above entry-level pay. Or maybe landing an entry-level deal that pays way more than their classmates are getting. Even things like getting premium pay for a TV pilot deal or raising a lot more money through crowdfunding than similar projects usually do. That shows the public believes in your talent enough to invest heavily. Here's something interesting our team found. Sometimes it's not just the absolute number. Context is everything. We've actually built strong cases where someone's salary might seem modest overall, but within their very specific, maybe traditionally lower paid artistic niche, it's exceptionally high. Proving you earn way more than your specific peers in your specific field can be more powerful than just having a higher salary that's only average in a more mainstream field. It's all relative. Getting the evidence right is crucial here. You need solid proof. That means things like redacted contracts clearly showing the pay. But you also need context. Industry benchmarks, surveys, guild reports are great for this equity. SAG-AFTRA, they have data on average pay. That lets you show how your pay compares. You have to show it's high in relation to others. It's not just I earn X, it's I earn X. And that's significantly more than the average person in my role with my experience in my field. Challenges. Oh yeah. Variable income is a big one in creative fields, but our researchers find you can handle that by averaging income over, say, 3 to 5 years, show a consistent high earning trend. Also, don't forget non-cash perks, things like getting a piece of the back-end profits, unique benefits, maybe even ownership in a project. Those have monetary value and should absolutely be calculated and included. This category is vital because it backs up other claims. Success often leads to higher pay. Critical acclaim drives demand, which drives up your fee. It's solid, objective proof of your market worth. As Chris Ingram points out, high remuneration not only reflects your market demand, but also highlights the economic and cultural value of your extraordinary talents.
There are just too many visas out there, and I don't know which one is right for us. We need to get the right advice.
Communication is everything, and I just need someone who will listen and guide me to the right visa type, and not make promises that they can't deliver.
There are so many documents. I need someone to walk me through each one. I can't afford to make any mistakes.
If I can just find a lawyer who understands my potential, I know America will be an excellent opportunity for me and my family.
Welcome to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram, and we are your immigration lawyers, and we will be with you every step of the way in your immigration journey.
At the law office of Chris M. Ingram, you get a free consultation so we can understand your needs.
We don't make promises we can't keep. Our success rate speaks for itself.
Join us and access your step-by-step video guides that answer every visa question.
Their platform is amazing. There are videos that instruct you on everything you have to do. It meant we were in control and we could do it in our own time.
They couldn't have been more helpful. They answered every question that I had, and it was easy to see they were the lawyers for me.
I couldn't believe it with my busy schedule. They always had time to talk to me and put me at ease. That's what I like about them.
So go on our website and get your free consultation now, and your new life is about to begin.
Ask me.
We did it! We did it!
We did it!
Oh my God, I got my visa! Yes, I did it!
That does raise a key question, though. What about people with less traditional income streams? Like, say, a fine artist selling unique sculptures, or maybe a street performer who's huge online, or someone funding big projects via Kickstarter. How do they fit into this high salary category? It's not a neat paycheck?
Excellent question. And the good news is the category is actually quite flexible. Our legal team's research confirms this. It's designed to cover various kinds of payment, not just standard salaries. The key is demonstrating that whatever form your earnings take, they are substantially higher than what others in your specific niche typically get. So for that artist selling installations, documented sales records from galleries, invoices, auction results showing their pieces command prices significantly above their peers, that's strong evidence. For someone in TV or film, maybe high per episode fees compared to the industry average for that kind of role. If you're getting paid a premium per episode, that works. And crowdfunding, absolutely. If you raise significantly more than the typical goal for similar independent projects, or way more than similar artists usually raise, that clearly shows the public values your work highly enough to invest big. Direct market validation. And don't forget, even if your high pay isn't consistent right now, showing you've commanded high fees in the past helps. It sets a precedent for your value. Maybe you did a huge commercial campaign or a hit limited series a couple of years ago. That track record matters. The goal is always the same. Show your earnings, whatever they look like, are substantially higher than the norm for your specific role, experience, and niche. Proof your talent commands a premium price.
Okay, so we've covered all 6 categories now. Lead roles, reviews, critical roles, commercial success, recognition from experts, and commanding high pay. But it feels like the real trick isn't just hitting 3 of these, is it? It's more about weaving them together into a convincing story, a narrative of extraordinary ability.
Exactly, you've hit the nail on the head. And this is where strategy in how you present the evidence becomes so important. It's moving beyond just understanding the categories to actually building that cohesive, compelling case. Our legal team always emphasizes this. These are not just boxes to check off. They're pieces of a puzzle. They should all work together to paint a clear picture of excellence. You really need to think about how they connect and reinforce each other. And they often do overlap naturally, right? Like, Big commercial hits probably lead to better pay offers. Or getting rave reviews for something you directed might lead to more recognition, better opportunities, and yeah, probably more money down the line. So when you put the case together, you tailor the evidence to tell your specific story. For someone just starting out, maybe an emerging artist, you might focus more on digital proof if traditional metrics aren't there yet, like a huge online following, viral work, successful crowdfunding that shows engagement, market interest, recent grads, build on that great training, potential shown through early wins, maybe unique contributions during internships. And for the pros with long careers, you can really add depth by showing that sustained achievement over years. That consistency is powerful. And there's this other angle our team highlights, which is sometimes overlooked: comparable evidence. Basically, if one category doesn't quite fit your situation perfectly, you might still be able to show similar achievements that prove you're extraordinary in your field. Maybe for a niche theater group, you don't have huge box office numbers, but you have consistently sold out shows, amazing audience feedback, tons of social media buzz around your work. That's comparable recognition, comparable success. Or in TV and film now, with streaming being so big, maybe deep viewership data, high completion rates for a series you worked on that could be comparable evidence even without traditional ratings. The key is making that clear, persuasive connection. This achievement equals extraordinary ability in my world.
Right. So even if, say, the high salary category feels like a stretch because your field just doesn't pay that well traditionally, you might be able to use comparable evidence to show your impact or value in other ways. It sounds like it allows for more creativity in building the case.
Precisely. It's not about forcing yourself into the 3 rigid boxes. It's about the total picture. Does all the evidence together convince USCIS you're extraordinary? Our researchers have seen it again and again, presenting that interconnected story is what wins cases. Our legal team actually says layering evidence turns good cases into approvals, meaning don't just throw documents at them. Connect the dots. Show how the critical acclaim led to the bigger role, how that role led to commercial success, how that success led to the higher pay. One useful strategy is maybe organizing evidence by themes, like innovation in storytelling, or cultural impact, or pioneering technique. It creates a narrative that's easier for someone reviewing the case to follow and understand, makes the argument clearer. For experienced people, it could show that arc of growing impact. For newer folks, it highlights that potential based on early, significant achievements, the common mistake. Presenting stuff that's disconnected, just listing awards without explaining why they're prestigious, or showing a contract without comparing the pay. You need to actively build those connections. And honestly, it helps to track your achievements as you go. Keep gathering proof. That way, when it's time to file, you have this rich, organized collection of evidence ready to tell your story powerfully. Makes your case undeniable.
That's super helpful advice. And now, after breaking down all the categories and the strategy, well, nothing brings it home like real stories, right? Our legal team shared some case studies composites based on real successes, and they really show how these ideas work in practice. This is where it tends to click for people.
Couldn't agree more. These case studies show exactly how meeting at least 3 categories, sometimes more, gets someone approved. Doesn't matter if they're a veteran or just starting out or what field they're in. They're great examples of taking all those different pieces of evidence and weaving them into that undeniable story. Yeah, let's start with her first one. Sofia Ramirez. Okay, so Sofia, she's a 42-year-old film director, been in the business about 18 years, pretty experienced. Her inspiration came from growing up watching Latin American cinema, stories about identity, culture that really resonated with her. She started out directing indie films, built a reputation, got critical acclaim, and then broke into Hollywood, made that jump. What's really striking about Sofia's case is she qualified under 4 categories, not just 3. Which shows, sustained extraordinary achievement over a long time, made for a very strong petition.
4 categories. Okay, now I'm really interested. How did she, or rather, how did the legal team working with her build that case? Which specific categories did she hit? And crucially, what kind of detailed evidence was used for each one? Because for someone listening, this is where they can really see how it applies to their own situation.
Absolutely. Sofia's case was a great example of presenting really thorough evidence, mapping out her whole career. Let's break down these 4 categories. First, category 1, lead roles. The team showed Sofia directed these highly acclaimed limited series for HBO, big, prestigious productions. They didn't just submit the contracts, they highlighted specific clauses showing her creative control, proving her vision was central. For instance, her contract for one series, Echoes of Bogota, apparently had language about her final cut approval, showed she wasn't just hired help, she was the driving artistic force. They backed this up with reviews saying the show's success was down to her direction. Then, category 2, recognition via reviews. Sophia had tons of this. Major publications, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, New York Times had written in-depth articles about her work, and these weren't just quick mentions. There were deep dives into her storytelling style, the cultural impact. We made sure to include those longer analytical pieces, showed critics were really studying her work. Plus, our legal team pointed out her early short films won awards at places like Sundance. Those wins got her an agent early on. And the reviews back then already singled out her unique voice, established her talent right from the start. Third, category 3. Critical roles for organizations. She directed episodes for huge Netflix shows. Think Narcos, Mexico, La Casa de Papel, global hits. Our researchers emphasized that her cultural background, her authenticity, was essential for these roles. She brought a depth and realism others couldn't, especially with sensitive cultural topics. Apparently, her involvement was key to ensuring accuracy, avoiding stereotypes vital for those big international shows. And she was often involved in rewrites, casting, proving she was much more than just a director, a critical creative force. And finally, category 4, commercial successes. Her films had grossed over $80 million worldwide. That's significant, especially for someone who started indie. Trending papers like Deadline reported on this, and her films consistently got great Rotten Tomatoes scores, like 90% plus. Shows critics and audiences loved them. Add in Emmy nominations for her TV work, strong box office from international releases. It all painted a clear picture of broad commercial appeal and financial success. Her art wasn't just acclaimed, it made money. So the overall story, the narrative for Sofia was really compelling. You saw this clear progression from festival darling to major studio success, always focused on diverse stories, cultural authenticity. And that longevity, nearly 2 decades, let her build up so much evidence, showed consistency. What was also powerful was how she connected her work to social impact, showed her films sparked conversations about identity, immigration, added another layer of significance. And, our team noted she faced biases being a woman, a minority director. That's a real challenge many face. But they strategically used overwhelming endorsements from big names, critics, studios to counter that, turned a potential negative into a positive, highlighting how her unique perspective was actually an asset. So her story is really a model of persistence, smart evidence gathering, and great presentation, especially for people in film and TV, showed how even with challenges, extraordinary talent, properly documented, gets recognized.
Wow. So if you're listening, Sofia's story isn't just about one director's success. It's really a blueprint, isn't it? It shows the power of meticulously documenting everything, every achievement, every review, every critical role, and then weaving it all together into this undeniable narrative. A story so strong can even overcome things like industry bias. It really highlights how crucial a well-researched, strategically presented petition is.
That sums it up perfectly. And that brings us to the end of part 3. We've now covered all 6 O-1B categories and seen how they work in practice with Sofia's fantastic case study. Coming up in part 4, our final part, we'll explore the remaining 3 case studies, more practical examples from different fields, different career stages, and then we'll wrap everything up with some final thoughts, some key strategies for navigating the whole O-1B process, give you that complete picture.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, consider how your own unique contributions, no matter how niche, might be documented and valued, not just by your immediate peers, but by the wider market and critical community. What story does your work tell, and how can you ensure it reaches the right ears? Thank you so much for being with us today. We hope you gained a lot from this discussion. Please subscribe to or follow this channel, as it can significantly increase the reach of this podcast and help us help more people. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Leave us a comment if you can. Also, follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and Instagram, where we're growing rapidly thanks to our social media team. We would also like to thank attorney Chris Ingram and his dedicated team once again for researching and preparing this material for our presentation. If you, a friend, or a family member would like a free consultation, you can visit our website at www.breakthroughusa.com and schedule an appointment. We'd love to hear from you and help you if we can. Bye for now.